Our 2012 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion is kind enough to join us here. His home state, home track here at Michigan International Speedway. Brad, fine qualifying effort, qualified sixth, and the number 2 Miller Lite Ford. Just talk about your mindset coming in here to Michigan and how practice has gone and how things are shaping up for Sunday.
Sure. I think we're really rolling here the last few weeks and, running strong and in position to win races. So I've been very, very pleased by that, qualifying up front along with that. So a lot to be proud of and just really excited as this summer stretch is really kicking into full swing. Hopeful that we can stack up a few more wins and kind of solidify ourselves as, a team that's ready to make a run for another championship as we go through the summer stretch and get ready for the fall beginning of the chase. So on a bit of a confidence spree and really feeling good about things.
Take questions now for our former NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion, Brad Keselowski. Mike, right there in the middle, please. And then we'll go to Mike Brunell. Mike Griffith, Mike Brunell, Nate Ryan.
Just talk to Kevin a little bit with his speed being the fastest pole-winning speed since Elliott in 1987. I guess I'd be curious to get your opinion on this, on how high the speeds are. Your thoughts on maybe one day the speeds getting that high. Would you want to go 212 on a track? And Michigan International Speedway's ability to handle these speeds?
Well, the speed to me in some ways is just a number, but I think that's easy to say without being conscientious of other things. I think the key for this discussion, there's several keys, but the two that stick out to me is, how do the speeds, Mike, affect our ability to pass and put on a race that our fans enjoy? If we're able to go 300 mile an hour and race side by side, that doesn't really matter to me. It's just the ability to do that, to have great side-by-side racing. And at this point, with the way aerodynamics have kind of taken over motorsports, we haven't shown that ability. So we have some work to do there, and I know there's a lot of people working on that. So I'd say that's one of the things or the keys to really answering that question. And I think the second question that comes to mind is, what happens when one of these cars gets turned around at that speed? We've shown time over time that, the takeoff speed on these cars is about 185 to 190 mile an hour. And as you cross that, 210, 220 mile threshold, certainly you lose some speed as a car spins out, but we'd really prefer to not have to lose any speed before the cars turn into airplanes. And so those are the two keys, I think, to answering those questions. And I think, if we answer those two questions to our satisfaction, in the sense that the cars are able to run side by side, put on great racing, and not have to worry about one, flying if it gets spun out at the end of the straightaway and, potentially injuring someone, then in that case, I think, the faster the better. But we have to answer those two, I think, before we really consider going much faster than where we're at right now.
Over to the left, Mike Brunell, and then Nate Ryan.
Brad, having Joey right there with you every week, it seems like you guys are, not much between you. How good has that been this season to have a guy like Joey pushing you and you pushing him?
It's nice to see. I think it's really good for Roger. And we rely on him so much to make our team go in so many senses, whether that's motivation, sponsorship, funding, decision-making, leadership, across the board. And to see him, be excited to have two cars that are, legitimate front runners week in and week out. I think that really energizes him to really play a strong role in the NASCAR side. And I think he would probably tell you himself that he's having the most fun he's ever had at the NASCAR level, and we're really thankful for that.
Right here, Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today Sports. Brad, Dale Jr. and Jeff are both. Jeff Gordon are both in here before you, and the way the cars were so stuck to the ground, Dale Jr. said he didn't even notice he was going as fast as he was, and Jeff said that even though he was going faster than last year, he felt more comfortable this year. Is that? And he also said, it's it's comfortable until it's not. I mean, as you said, you never know what can go wrong, and you talked about like reliability and stress on the tires and parts. Is that kind of how you feel like when you're in the cockpit? Is it comfortable until it's not? Is that kind of how it is this fast?
Well, the speeds are up because the cars are comfortable. The two are connected together. The cars, Nate, have more rear downforce, considerably more rear downforce than they've ever had, along with more front downforce as well, but mostly rear. And rear downforce always serves to make the cars drive more comfortable. This track used to be notorious once they repaved it for being really loose into turn 3, which is more of your flatter entry corner, and you don't really have the banking to support you. This year we're entering turn 3 5 to 10 mile an hour faster, and it feels probably 10 to 15 mile an hour slower because of how much rear grip that spoiler put in the car and how much more secure you feel with that. So yeah, I would agree. I read some of Jeff's comments before I came here, and I would agree that in some ways the cars feel slower, and we're certainly pushing the edges of every facet of the car, the track, the sport with those increased speeds. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that can be a good thing, and we'll all have to see how that plays out, especially as we get in the summer and you add that extra dimension of temperature to go with increased loads. So, I think that'll definitely play a factor in this weekend and really the whole summer stretch and season.
Other questions? Take the gentleman right here, and then we'll go to Chase.
Brad Bob Duff from the Windsor Star. I'm doing a story on the 3 Canadian engineers that work with Penske. I know Darcy's worked with you in the past. You're probably about as close to a Canadian as there is in NASCAR. So what's up with all these Canadians?
Well, or just, it's probably a larger story in itself that the American engineering pool is very shallow right now. And Penske is moving to, any other country. We've hired multiple engineers from Europe over the last 3 or 4 years, and we're pilfering everyone we can in the great country of Canada. So if you know any of them, send them our way. It's just very hard to get engineers with the educational background and commitment that we need to be successful at this level from the United States. So there's certainly a shortage, not just at Penske, but throughout the garage.
Over here to the right, we'll end up with Chase.
Chase Wilhelm, PRN. Brad, just off-the-wall question for you. Looking at Sonoma next week, you'll be going there. Excuse me, sorry. On road courses, your tempers easily flare out there on the road course, Sonoma, and then also Watkins Glen. But my question is, going along with that, the tempers flaring at a place like Sonoma, what kind of what kind of angers you on the highway? Like what really kind of grinds your gears a little bit, kind of get you angry when you're driving
the highway?
Yeah, when you're driving your personal car on the highway.
I'm not sure how that connects to Sonoma, but for me, I just don't like people who don't pay attention. I feel like I'm pretty slack with everything else, but I have no tolerance for people that don't pay attention. So that's really about it.
Anything else for Brad? Brad, thanks for coming in, and good luck this weekend here at Michigan. Thank you.
Have a good one.